Now we're going to continue with another live session moderated from Dubai by Sumaira Isaacs, and this time Kazakhstan. So we're going to hear from Kairat Sadvakassov. He is the chairman of the Kazakh National Tourism Company. So I hand back to Sumaira Isaacs in Dubai for that session. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
Hi, Kairat.
How are you?
Okay, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kairat, at the Global Tourism Forum Summit. This is a very important, and Kazakhstan is a very important country for us to talk to. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to welcome Kairat Kazakh. He's the vice chair of Kazakh Tourism. And Kazakhstan is a unique region in the world because of its history, its geographical position and size. Being the world's 9th largest country and located in the center of Eurasia, it is also the largest landlocked country in the world. These factors have resulted in the country's particular climate and nature, which seem to absorb the brightest examples of the landscape of both the continents. In addition, the complicated history of the Kazakh people and the constant interaction of nomadic lifestyle in ancient cities have led Kazakhstan to its uniqueness and an authentic culture. So, moving on, the pandemic has impacted, Kazakhstan has been no exception. But the pandemic could also be an opportunity to develop local destinations. How has your country coped in terms of tourism losses during COVID-19?
Thank you, Sumaira. Well, we were one of the few countries, I guess, which where negative balance in terms of arrivals was in place before COVID, meaning that outbound travel numbers actually exceeded those of inbound or even domestic ones. So during the pandemic, we saw the tremendous growth, of course, for the domestic travel. Lots of destinations, including our national parks, saw a lot of arrivals, which caused some stress on the environment. And that particular case helped us identify the in-house issues that we had, pandemic laid bare some of the issues we had in terms of infrastructure, in terms of connectivity, national parks, how they were run, product development, and so on. So that's why during the pandemic we were kind of concentrating on our, let's call it a homework or home chores. So we injected more money into infrastructure. So during the pandemic, the investment from the government side exceeded 120 million US dollars just for the infrastructure to build last mile, let's say, of the road towards certain destinations, or to build the missing roadside infrastructure, including some gas stations or toilets and so on. So that was our major focus. At the same time, we were also focusing on the legislation part. So in order to boost tourism, to revive it right after we see that vaccine coming or more effective treatment protocols, once we see this, we want to be prepared to boost tourism. So in terms of legislation, we have a new act in the parliament right now, providing additional benefits both for the investors and businesses and for potential travelers locally and internationally. In terms of investment preferences, we are offering additional perks such as refunds, capital expenditures up to 25%, depending on what type of infrastructure is being built, whether it's a lift on a ski resort or it's just a capital expenditure on the hotels and so on. So anything from 10 to 25% can be received back by the investor. At the same time, tour operators, travel organizers, attracting a certain number of travelers, they can see a bonus at the end of the year up to $50 per head per foreign tourist attracted. Now, in terms of domestic travel, of course, we want to sustain the numbers that we had in 2020. We understand it's a kind of excess demand, but in order to sustain it, we want to offer additional benefits to local travelers. So the next program we are offering as of next season, hopefully, is Kids Go Free, whereby parents can take for free on in any flight, domestic flight, up to 4 of their own children for free. So the scheme is,
Oh,
is
wow.
being devised right now. So that should help. And at the same time, for international travelers, we offer tax-free. It's a kind of new project for us, and it's offered only in Almaty in a couple of upscale malls. So this is something we've been concentrating on, and at the end of the year, we've also spared some time for marketing in hope that things will get back to normal sooner than later.
So, thank you. That shows the government's inclination to move forward, with the right robust strategy to take on this crisis head on. That's very, very clear. So, but one of the things that has happened with the pandemic is that things have come to a standstill when it also comes to investments. I know you've just mentioned some investment incentives here. Can you just a little bit elaborate? And what's your message to international investors? Because I know Kazakhstan is still positioning itself as a destination, inviting investments into the country for travel and tourism.
That is correct. The message I would like to send is that tourism is listed among 5 other priority sectors of economy, along with petrochemicals, with food, with processing, and so on. So we are one of the top 6 priorities of the government, with commensurate focus played by the central and local governments. On top of that, I would like to say that after the pandemic is over, we are the country that is positioning itself as a country with natural social distancing, being one of the biggest countries, as you've rightly mentioned, and one of the least scarcely populated countries with less than 7 people per square kilometer. We want to tout this to potential travelers and investors, that travelers after pandemic will be seeking more solo travel, away from crowded places. So in Kazakhstan, between 13 national parks that we have, vast spaces, tremendously beautiful scenic landscapes. We'll be concentrating on ecotourism in remote destinations. So this is something that will be appealing to potential travelers in the years to come. So if potential investor would like to come and get both interesting product that is here supported by the government and additional investment preferences, so Kazakhstan is the right place for this.
And in the same breath, if you can just a little bit tell us about the mice business, that if there is any readiness to and focus towards that, because I know that you are a great destination for convention business as well.
Right. We are positioning ourselves as the leader of MICE travel here in Central Asia, with many both sports and business events that we held here. Just a quick example, back in 2017, we held World Expo during 3 months here in the capital city. We held different winter Asian and global university games. So we have all these necessary venues and infrastructure for major events. And right now, we are offering additional preferences and perks to MICE organizers. So MICE companies can get free receptions, or they can get free venue when they're bringing a certain number of people. So the number we're looking at is around 100 delegates. So whichever agency, being local or international, is coming with the international event with PAX attending more than 100 people, can get certain benefits, including free post and pre-travel and so on. Some of the venues are truly unique. You can see masterpieces of architecture. One of the architects, Sir Norman Foster, designed many iconic buildings here in the capital city. So all these interesting venues are available for MICE organizers, irregardless of whether it's a government or business event. So all the government buildings will be there, including museums for MICE organizers to host.
Thank you so much, Kairat. Our time is running out. I would love to hear more, but you and I will keep in touch. You are a friend of World Tourism Forum Institute. We believe in Kazakhstan, and we'll be in touch again. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you. My pleasure.